Hand-me-down ride, painted rattle can red, second-hand tires, a poor boy tread. Made a lot of almost love in the bed of that truck that got stuck a lot. Just a letter jacket boy singing Jerry Jeff songs, drinking everything we could get our hands on, learning about right but doing it wrong, hoping we didn't get caught. And we spent what a little bit of money we had on wintergreen skull and Main Street gas. Go get your girl, go make the drag. If you're lucky, you can take her across the railroad tracks where Briscoe and team works their magic on the second runner-up of the 4-H pageant. Seems like yesterday, even though Brad last won 1,452 beers ago.
I helped you out on that one.
You fucked it up.
I fucked it. How did I fuck it up?
My voice is better than yours.
I love the way I play the triangle, bro.
The way I talk.
Ding. Ding.
Oh, boy. Why is it?
I don't know.
Why is it that whenever my guys are in a position to win the race, some bullshit happens?
Well, Brad is colorblind, so...
well, to be fair, it ain't Brad's fault.
Yeah, it was. He's the one that pulled it down pit road. He said it himself.
Yeah, because
End of the day, I'm the one that got the driver wheel in my hand. Got the steering wheel in my hand. I'm the one that pulled it down pit road. I'm a dumbass. I don't know what lap we on.
That's fair. Ooh. However, he wouldn't have pulled it down pit road if his crew chief didn't say, hey, man, pull that bitch down pit road.
Hey, Jeremy Bowens, I mean, he's getting old now. Man, he's like 62. I can say, hey, old man Bowens forgot when pit road opened, when it happened. But at the end of the day, it is Brad's fault.
Damn it, boy.
Yeah. Damn it I mean, it was a good day, but for all of our guys finished in the top 10. All my guys finished in the top 5.
2 of my guys should have won the race. They should have shared the win.
All 3 of my guys could have won the race. Should have won the race. I would love to. I mentioned this on my TikTok review. I was wondering if ever when Chris, Chase, and Blaney all finished in the top 5 in the same race. Now the problem was they finished on the back half of it. Yeah. The top 5. But still a good day for us. Just
not good enough.
Not good enough, and the racing itself kind of frustrated us a little bit.
I know you were happy with it, texting me.
Huh?
You were happy with the race, texting me after
happy-ish.
It wasn't that bad. It's a pretty good race.
I was on a racer's high. You know how that is.
I don't.
My guys run good. You kind of ignore the elephant in the room. Air.
Alabama.
They wish.
Roll damn tide.
They gonna fucking lose 7 ball games this year.
Poison them trees, ball.
They gonna need to poison some trees. Auburn gonna beat them. Auburn gonna win the national championship.
No.
No. But yeah, welcome back to the Highline Drink. Episode 153, right? 153?
Yeah, 153.
Is that the last time Brad won?
It's coming up on it. I think it's like 50-something.
Yeah. He won at Darlington last year. To be fair, though, 1,452 beers ago, that's probably accurate.
That's probably a lower estimation.
Yeah, of how many beers you've had since last May.
Yeah.
Since Brad won at Darlington. But, yeah, we'll get into all the NASCAR stuff here in a minute. But, Riley, how you doing? It's hot as fuck in the studio.
It is very hot in this bitch.
It's almost too hot to drink beer.
No.
Almost.
Not even close.
I said almost.
There's no such thing.
Not so fast.
Not so fast.
We got pins today. We're fancy because we got something to talk about later.
We do. We want to talk about me.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about why Chris should have won that fucking race.
Yeah.
What I want, what I see, what I want, what I do, what I need.
Yeah.
I won't talk about Chris. But unfortunately, we're talking about Chase.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm proud of myself for that one.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
And the wrong Chase, too. Yeah. Not Elliott.
Damn, what the fuck were we talking about? Air?
Yes. Now, how you doing?
I don't need it.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, you do.
We all need it.
Everybody needed it.
To be fair, though, SpongeBob was talking about water.
Yeah.
In that episode.
That's fair. He had too much air.
Had too much air. That's how are you supposed to pass with no air?
Yeah, that was
Remember that
that
one?
one was rough.
That was with you at Dover.
Yep.
With the Hamlin one because
Yep.
Hamlin because Larshey couldn't pass.
Yep.
Same thing. Fucking this weekend.
Yep. How am I gonna pass with no air? No air, no air. Yeah, well, they couldn't pass with any air today.
Nope.
Or
I
yesterday.
need some air. Good God, it's hot.
Yeah, it's pretty warm, but
So if
yeah.
you hear the air conditioning, we apologize, but we cannot do this podcast without the AC going.
You say that every week, but you never hear it.
I hear it a little bit.
I don't.
Do you
I'm
listen?
deaf.
Do you listen
Yes.
to our podcast?
I do. I'm deaf.
Okay. I don't listen to. I don't hear it. Do you listen to it? No. Oh, gee, no wonder.
Yeah, but
I don't hear it now.
anyway, Pocono this weekend. Good results, but not good enough.
We're getting into how we were doing first.
Bad. Pocono this weekend.
Bad. Same.
Bad. No, I'm doing all right.
I'm all right.
Yeah.
Next.
Just ate some wiener.
Mine.
No, they were actually
Shame.
mine. They
I
were
did
my
have a wiener, your wiener, and multiple wieners in my mouth.
Yes, they were very good.
Real quick,
I
for
grilled 'em up.
YouTube, if you're still listening, how do you like your grilled wieners? Do you like them black, burnt to a crisp? Do you like them soft? Do you like them in the middle?
Just a little bit of
little
clear
bit of
mark
black.
on them.
Yeah, a couple grill marks on them. Is that how you like it? How do you like it? I like it almost burnt, like burnt to a crisp. I like a lot of black and a little bit of wiener.
So the way I cooked them for you was good.
Oh yeah, about perfect.
Yeah.
Maybe just a little bit more, and I'd have been the perfect wiener would have been in my mouth.
I struggle with overcooking food.
Hey, hot dogs right up your alley.
No, I struggle with cooking it that much because like people
Oh,
that
I got
people that like their steaks burnt are ridiculous.
There you go. Good save.
So whenever I cook you steak, you get it medium rare. That's if you
I can handle medium rare, but medium's the best one.
if you get steak at my house, you're getting a medium rare steak. It's impossible for me to do anymore.
I feel like you're disrespecting the cow at that point.
Well, it just feels like I've left it on there too long. So like I just pull it off. It's like
Come on, we
it's,
need
it's got to be
It
done.
needs to be eaten.
Yeah. And then hamburgers, the same thing. Like I undercook hamburgers sometimes. And then hot dogs, I can't burn them. Like it was blasphemy what I was doing to those wieners today on the grill for you and Tori. But yeah, we ate some hot dogs. That was pretty
So
good.
you don't like burnt hot dogs?
No.
You are insane.
But I can eat them. Those are easier. But
You like boiled hot dogs better than burnt hot dogs?
I like grilled hot dogs better than boiled hot dogs. But I do like boiled hot dogs.
If it's not going to be burnt, boil them because I like them better that way.
Skins. Anyways.
That's fair. Skins do have some good wieners.
Uh,
I ain't had skins in forever.
Yeah. But
Been a while. That's a southern thing, I think. I don't think the
it's
people
only
up
in South Carolina.
Oh, is it? Okay, but I was about to say I don't think the people listening in North Dakota is gonna know what we're
No,
talking
they're
about.
not. But skins, thrashers, hot dogs here in the upstate of South Carolina is good stuff. If you've never had them,
Sponsor us, please.
please.
I will eat wieners every week on this podcast. if you
Hell
sponsor us.
yes. And then some hot dog. But
Yes.
yeah, so I'm doing all right. Worked all weekend, obviously, on my long week. Last week on nights, so I'm going to try to win national championship college football 25 before we have to get into 26.
Yeah, it's coming up in 2 weeks.
Yep.
3 weeks. somewhere
So
in there.
we got that going on later on.
Take the Spartans.
Yeah.
Yeah, Spartans to the
Yeah,
championship.
the Spartan fucks. But
Huh? I didn't
yeah,
get that one.
You said Spartans fuck.
Oh yeah.
The Spartans fuck. Yeah,
Yeah.
those are good. It's a good football team.
Yep, they are.
But anyways, yep. So, kind of disappointed about the race this weekend, but overall, doing all right.
Yeah, same for me. I worked this past weekend on day shift, and it wasn't too bad. I'm training a new guy, so the work for me has gone down a little bit, so that's good. I deserve some shifts off and just training people. It's always nice, and I get paid more for the training too. How it makes sense, doesn't it? You do less work for more money. That's kind of how my job works. So that's been good, and for the NASCAR side, it was. Man, close but no cigar for all my guys. I thought Chris had the best car on Sunday.
He did.
Brad was right there, which I'm not a Brad fan, but Brad was right up there too. RFK brought some speed this past weekend at Pocono, which was very a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one, at least for my side with Chris. So Chase had a good car, top 5 car all day. Fell off towards the end like he normally does, but the top 5 at Pocono were a weekend where Hendrick really didn't have it. I'll take it. If Byron would have won the race, Larson would have finished 3rd, and Chase would have finished 5th, I'd have still been happy with the top 5. I'm like, motherfucker, what does he got to take to get him race-winning speed with his teammates? But he was really the best Hendrick car all day. Byron had some speed. He wrecked in qualifying. Kind of, I think, I took him out of contention for the win on Sunday. Had to start in the back. Makes way through the field, but then Dirty Air killed him there at the end. Finished like 27th or something. Just finished awful. I think Byron's worst finish of the season while he was still running at the end of the race. So that was a little surprising. Larson's team kind of in a rut right now. They're just kind of not having race-winning speed at all. Finished 7th, I think, at the end of the day. Got another top 10, but there's something going on with that 5 car. Well, I was kind of curious there. And then Bowman kind of ran 10th all day and finished like 12th or something. So Chase was the best Hendrick car, which is always good. And then Blaney carrying the banner for Penske. No shocker there. Had a good car. Made it through the field a couple times. Got caught for speeding. Worked his way back up through the field and had a chance to win there at the end. That caution with Shane kind of worked out for him. Kind of helped him out and kind of screwed Chris out. He's able to be 3rd on the choose instead of Chris, which Chris would have chose the top on that last restart. And maybe Chris wouldn't have got loose, and he could have cleared Hamlin for 2nd. And we'll never know if Chris could have got Briscoe for the lead. Because I think he had a better car than Denny most of the day, so he had a little better car.
Couldn't pass Denny, so
that's
why
what
the
I'm.
fuck would you?
I know. That's what I know. But he came very close to passing Briscoe too before that call. Before the last round of green flag pit stops, he was right there on Briscoe's tail for most of that run. So, all good. All 3 of my guys in the top 5. Can't really complain there. I just wish one of them would have won. Mainly Chris because he needs it the most to help him secure a spot in the playoffs. But another bubble driver. Got his win that he needed. First win at JGR for Chase Briscoe. Did a good job saving fuel, holding off the best in the sport at Pocono and Denny Hamlin.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing about him winning though is that he was already, kind of penciled in to be in the playoffs, so it's not going to change, the cut line at all. And with Chris specifically. Really good points day for him. Got points in both stages. Finished 2nd in the first stage.
And you said, he's like, he didn't flip stage 1, and you were all mad. I said, 9 stage points is hard to walk away from when you're kind of on the bubble. And you said, I don't give a shit about points. I want to win, which is fair. But you look at the end of the day, he got all those stage points, and he got a 3rd, 4th place finish.
He got lucky in the 2nd stage to be able to get stage points because there were some cautions and stuff that kind of helped him out on strategy.
That's fair.
Because he was awful on restarts all day, and which is no surprise. Chris Buescher is always awful on restarts. He's fucking.
Well, he started 2nd and didn't lose a spot on the opening start,
which is fair. If he started.
And he restarted 4th one of those restarts and gained a spot.
For whatever reason, he couldn't restart on the bottom, but he kept picking the bottom. And, there was that happened, and, he was mired back in there. And I just knew that it was going to be a struggle for him to work his way back up there, similar to Michigan. Michigan, same thing. Won stage 1.
We're talking about he won stage 1 at Michigan,
at Michigan.
Not this past week.
Had the best car at Michigan. 2nd stage, you never saw him again because of pit strategy. And then, kind of got lucky with some strategy in the 3rd stage and the way things worked out and was there to win the race at the end if there's a little more time. And the same thing happened here at Pocono. Just the luck happened a little bit sooner, which helped him with the stage points. And I ended up with like the third or 4th most points on the day. And so good on that. But it's kind of frustrating because I think this is the 2nd oval in a row he had the best car. And he didn't win. So, disappointed on that.
Turn into Blaney here.
You had Brad, obviously, who kind of started a little further back and was passing cars through the middle of the field in that early part of the race. And
he started 14th or something.
Yeah, in middle of the field. Yeah, and worked his way up there, took the lead, was leading.
Led for a long time. 20-something laps.
Cautions came out, pit strategy happened, and kind of, was kind of in the middle there for a little while, and then had the lead again, and there was some bad pitch strategy. There was some bad
Pitting on the
breaks.
closed pit.
Yeah, there was some bad caution that fell that kind of ruined his chances, and that was unfortunate. But Pocono's always been this way. We talked about this yesterday, but you and I. But it's a frustrating racetrack to watch sometimes because the best car can't pass, and it was obvious to me in that first stage. And obviously I'm a Chris Buescher homer, but Chris Buescher had the best car in the first stage, no question. He was way faster than Denny. Couldn't pass him.
Then he kind of burnt his stuff up trying to pass.
Yeah.
Him. That's why he fell back.
And then Denny, obviously way better than Briscoe at the end, couldn't pass him. And that's just, I say it all the time
I think
on this.
Blaney was better than both of them at
And
the end.
I think Chris was better than all three of them.
I agree.
He was just a little too far back.
Yeah. Couldn't pass Chase
he got,
for a while.
Yeah, he got Chase, right at the end. But, it's just one of those. The same thing I always talk about on this podcast is it should be hard to pass. It shouldn't be just everybody just swapping positions back and forth every corner. But if I'm faster than you, I should be able to at least put my car in a position to pass you. And if I don't, it needs to be because you did something to stop me or I did something to make a mistake, not just because the air won't let me get close enough to you to even try. Chris got on the inside of Denny one time in that first stage, and he was 2/10 back for 30 laps, and he couldn't pass him. Denny never even got to chase Briscoe. He couldn't get within 2/10 of him, and that's not right. Now, if
While he was saving fuel.
while he was max fuel save, 3/4 throttle halfway down the front stretch, and couldn't get to him, and that's just. There's something wrong with that, in my opinion.
It was like Dover last year for me.
Yeah, and
with Denny and Larson. Clearly, Larson was better than Denny at the end of the race and could not pass him.
and there's a difference between having a car side by side. And you can't really can't open up the throttle, can't open up the wheel, so it's hard to pass somebody. Mm-hmm. That makes for good racing. That is where I like to see it being hard to pass, but not being able to even get to the guy. That's frustrating, especially when the guy behind you's faster. If you got equal stuff and you're just running the same lap time, it is what it is. But Denny was way faster than the 19 and just couldn't get to him. So it was frustrating watching that. And then of course you got the Amazon booth trying to play up the fuel strategy,
which is their job.
Which is their job, but sometimes I wonder if fuel is even an issue or if they're just lying to us,
Yeah.
because
you see less and less. Well, to be fair, 2 weeks ago at Michigan, I don't think Byron thought they were going to run out, and they did.
That's fair.
So
maybe Briscoe just did a really good job at conserving it because, maybe he did, but
he had enough to do most of a burnout.
yeah. So, just all in all, just a very, very frustrating race to watch, especially for myself because I was hoping Chris would have a chance to win it. I was hoping Brad would have a chance to win it, and in Brad's case, whatever could go wrong did go wrong. Seemed like he couldn't catch a break. Hadn't been able to catch a break all year, but, this is just a microcosm of his whole year, this race.
The last part of it with the Shane wreck, not the coming down pit road on a closed pit. That's their own fault.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He's made a lot of mistakes that have taken him out of races, and
Yeah.
he's had shit happen to him that is out of his control that's taken him out of races. And he had both in this race and still came away with a good finish, but very disappointed in that. Ryan Preece kind of lucked into a top 10 finish. Didn't really see him all day, but was up there at the end, which is
that's what matters.
Which has kind of become his MO at Roush. A lot of the time, you don't see him a ton, and then he's there at the end, which is fine with me.
Rather be good at the end than good at the beginning.
Exactly. So, just a frustrating race for me to watch. All in all, it was just the racing wasn't great, and then. The frustration about my own guys personally kind of took it down even a few more points than that. So I think at most 5 out of 10. It was just probably a little less than that. But, taking the finishes of my guys in consideration, might help a little bit. But Pocono is just disappointed this week.
I agree with you for the most part about being kind of frustrated. I think the best way to describe this race for us is this race could have been epic for us, just based on how all our guys ran great. There's not a whole lot of complaints. It's not like Chase ran 5th all day and finished 15th. It's not like Chris ran top 5 and got a bad restart and finished 12th, or Brad got in a wreck, blew a tire for you, and Blaney was running good and his motor blew or something like that. It's none of that. It's just I feel like all of our guys had the best cars and none of our guys won the race. That's what's frustrating about it, because those weeks don't happen hardly ever. When you cheer for a certain team or cheer for certain drivers, usually you're lucky if one of them has a good chance to win the race. And this weekend, other than maybe Priest for you, I don't think he had a race-winning car, but 5 out of our 6 guys that we cheer for, between the two of us, had a chance, a legitimate chance to win this race, and none of them got it done. So that's what makes it. It's like we were this close to greatness, and we just couldn't quite get it there. So, and yet the passing thing was frustrating. The restarts were very exciting. Only had one real big wreck, and that was off the tunnel turn with Kyle Busch getting loose. I think he's on the inside of Zane Smith, I believe. And lost it. Christopher Bell got damage. AJ Allmendinger, I think, got damage. And somebody else. So that was the only big wreck of the day. But the restarts were exciting. He had one pass for the lead all day, and that was on track. And that was with Alex Bowman passing Joey Logano early in stage 2. When Joey Logano, he ran 12th all day, kind of. And same thing with Bowman. So they weren't really race-winning cars. That was the only pass for the lead all day. So I wish that would have went a different way, because you could pass throughout the field, but clean air was just king. And you saw it there. Stage 1, Stage 2, Stage 3. You saw it throughout the whole race. The leader got out in front. It was pretty much sayonara for the rest of the field, even if you were faster. I said this yesterday. I said if Chris Buescher could have ever got the lead, I don't think anybody could have taken it away from him, because not only I think he had the best car, but if, say, Ryan Blaney or Denny Hamlin was a little bit better than him in certain parts of the run, I don't think they could have done nothing about it to pass Chris, unless Chris made a mistake. We'll never know on that end. But, it's just, Briscoe did a good job, called a lucky caution, a caution that should have happened before he got down pit road. That might be a foreshadow for later in one of our segments. Michael McDowell hits the wall, blows a tire. Okay, yeah, you got the tire carcass on the middle of the front stretch. Cool. Throw a caution, right? No, wait a lap. All right, I guess I'm not going to throw a caution. 4 laps later, caution flag! After fucking Briscoe, Barry, I think John Hunter pitted, and we're like, this better not be for that fucking debris. And it was. That is just so fucking frustrating. It's like NASCAR waited. Again, they wait on some of these things. So that, hey, if people want to pit, they can pit now. It's like they wait for people to decide they wait to determine what a caution is. If it's a fucking caution, throw the fucking flag. Don't wait 5 laps until you get done. You wait a lap after some people pitted and be like, okay, nobody else is going to come down. All right, we'll throw the caution now. That's you're fixating the race. You're changing the outcome of the race. If that doesn't happen, I don't think Chase Briscoe wins this race. But because of that lucky caution flag, he gets to win. He give James Small and that team credit. They took a gamble. If that caution doesn't happen, then you never see that 19 team again. Because if they never throw a caution, then he's back mired in the mid-20s and teens. We might not ever get that Shane Van Gisbergen caution. You just never know. But that's what allowed Chase Briscoe to win this race. No disrespect to the guy. He had a decent car. He had probably a top 5, top 10 car, top 7 car.
You know about Edge?
A lot.
On this day.
So that's my problem with this. NASCAR again officiating affecting the outcome of the race. If you throw a caution right after it happened, okay, sure. I might think it's a caution, but hey, there's debris in the front stretch. I get it. Caution, throw it immediately. Don't wait 5 laps when the same debris was there for 4 laps prior, and then you throw the fucking caution. That's the problem I have with that, and I'm getting ahead of myself here because I might be giving this to a later segment. But congratulations to Chase Briscoe and team. They're they locked themselves in the playoffs, did what they had to do. Chase Briscoe did a good job saving fuel, and yeah, he's in the playoffs now. Third JGR car to win a race this year. Christopher Bell with 3, Denny Hamlin with 3, and
Ty's still gonna win the most.
Ty Gibbs got some work to do for your preseason prediction to come true, and he ain't even won one. So good to see Chase Briscoe. Like I said, I like Chase Briscoe as a driver, personality. He's a cool guy. He just drives for a shitty organization and a shitty manufacturer.
Yeah, well, we kind of spoke on it just a little bit there. Aerodynamics.
Yep. What you know about it?
Can it be fixed?
No.
All right, I agree.
No, I don't. What we're referring to here is the dirty air, the air bubble that seems to plague a big factor in a lot of these races when it's just a one groove racetrack. And Pocono is kind of you could say it's a lane and a half, groove and a half. In turn 1 and turn 3, turn 2 is got to be on the bottom.
Yeah, that turn 2 ruins this racetrack.
Yeah, and Eric Eastep kind of mentioned that earlier. The turn 2 corner at this racetrack with these next gen cars,
which is technically turn 3, but I'll get into that in a minute.
Yeah, it just with these next gen cars is just with how sensitive these cars are. When you're good, oh shit, I'm spinning out. Which you saw that with Kyle Busch, with William Byron,
Carson Hocevar.
Well, he almost went off 3, but yeah, it's just
hell of a save.
It was a hell of a save. But yeah, I just think certain tracks with this car, and I think also what hurt this race was we've had now 3 years with this car, or 4 years with this car, fourth time coming here to Pocono with this car. I just think the teams know how to set up these cars now, and with the way the car is, you're good, you're not. Dirty air, just block the guy behind you who's faster, and you can get away with it because the speeds are so intense, or just kind of the speeds are pretty high at this track to where air will play a huge advantage. The faster these next gen cars go at these tracks that are not Daytona, Talladega, Atlanta, it's going to be very hard to pass because you get more dirty air if the car's going faster. And the way these cars are built, you're going to get that. You get that. You see at Pocono, you'll have that at Indy in a couple weeks.
Indy's going to suck.
Indy's going to be rough. Even Bristol, a half-mile short track. If the tires don't wear, it is fucking horrendous because they're going so fast around there that even if you get a run on a guy, how fast you're going, you can just block wherever the guy behind you's going. And as long as they don't get a run off a corner and get to your right rear corner, it's over. There's nothing they can do to pass you unless you make a mistake yourself. So I think that's the biggest problem. The faster tracks, Michigan, we kind of saw that same way. Michigan has surprisingly been pretty good, but I think that's because the track itself has aged pretty well, and you've got multi-groove racing.
Wide, yeah.
It's wide, and you can do a little bit more about making moves at Michigan. But if it's a one groove track, 1.5 groove, you see that Texas, like tracks that are fast, that are not very wide, you're going to keep having this. Indianapolis in 4 weeks, 3 weeks, going to be pretty rough to watch. But I think and the teams just know how to set these cars up now, and they know what you have to do to be fast. And everybody does the same thing. And if everybody does the same thing, everybody has a similar type setup, similar type car. Track position is what matters. Being on the right side of the strategy matters. And that's unfortunate because, you'd like to see racing come down to more than just, I got the track position and you can't pass me because I got this big-ass air bubble in front of me, and you can't go nowhere because this track is a lane and a half wide. And that's frustrating. And but it's kind of what we are in modern-day NASCAR. It's worked at some tracks, like a Homestead, like a Kansas, like a Charlotte, that are multi-grooved. Yeah, it's great because they can move around, but you get to a track where can't really go nowhere, and it's high speeds. Good luck.
Yeah, it's one of those things that it's kind of baked into this car. I say this every time we talk about aerodynamics on this podcast. Obviously, I'm not a fucking aerodynamicist. I'm not a fucking rocket scientist. But I know enough about it to know enough about it. And whenever downforce is what's creating the speed in the corner, dirty air is going to be a problem. And that's just, there's no way around it. And I mean, you can look at F1. F1's got similar issues. Cars can't follow, each other through corners, and it's just because the cars rely so much on downforce to make grip. Mechanical grip is not as relied upon these days because they've got the downforce, and they're moving so fast through the corners that they have to rely on the downforce to create that grip, create that speed through the center of the corner. And NASCAR is continued to morph into that direction, as F1 and even IndyCar to some degree in the past 20, 30 years because of advancement in downforce and aerodynamics as far as grip is concerned. And there's really nothing you can do to mitigate the dirty air without reducing the downforce on the cars. If the cars aren't reliant on the downforce, then the dirty air won't be an issue because the dirty air won't reduce the grip of the following car. But whenever following somebody reduces the grip of the following car, it's going to be an issue that dirty air is there, and that's just science. I mean, that's just the way it's going to work. And unfortunately, there's really not a ton NASCAR is going to be able to do to fix it until, they get away from relying so much on downforce as they do to make grip. And, they're probably not going to do that because once you learn something, you're going to keep using it. And they know that downforce makes grip, and that's just the way it is. So, it's unfortunate. There's really not a fix for it, and unless you just put box cars back out there, which is what they used to run, and the racing was a little bit better. But I don't see that happening. So there might be ways that I'm not thinking of, like I said, because I'm not an aerodynamicist by any means. But there might be something they can do to reduce the dirty air situation. But it's kind of nature of the beast these days as far as racing in general goes. But as far as NASCAR goes, it is what it is. And if you ever go to a racetrack where it's single groove or the fastest way around is this way, whenever you're following a car, it's going to be tough. And I don't see anything changing because they're not gonna peel all the downforce out of these cars and slow them down in the center of the corner. It's just not what they're going to do.
Well, my thing is, I think NASCAR liked this race. It was close. Had a close finish. Briscoe and Denny and Blaney was right there on top of each other, within a second of each other at the end of this race. Yeah. That's a problem too. I don't think NASCAR has a problem with how this race finished.
And it's probably similar to the way that a lot of the super speedway stuff goes. Is like to the uneducated, to the people that can't see don't really understand what's going on. It might look entertaining. It might be.
It'll keep the eyeballs on the screen. It will do that.
If you've never watched a NASCAR race before and you flip it on and you see Denny Hamlin half a car length behind, you might think he's got an opportunity to pass. But I don't know about you, but I knew he wasn't passing him unless he ran out of fuel.
Yeah, after he made one run with like 20 to go and got within 2 or 3 car lengths of him, and he couldn't do nothing after that. I was like, oh, yeah. Unless Briscoe runs out,
There's
it's
no
over.
way.
It's over.
Unless he makes a major mistake or runs out of fuel,
it's over.
Chase Briscoe's won this race.
Yeah.
And, that's
because he would have done it.
He'd have passed him already.
Yeah.
Just like when Chris got to him, got side by side and didn't pass him, I knew it was over in stage 1. There's no way he was going to pass him unless Denny made a mistake. And to people like you and I that have been watching the sport forever, and to probably the listeners of this podcast, sure, it's better than having a 14-second lead, but it's not what we're looking for. It's not what I'm looking for. Yeah. And
if you're the best driver, you're the best driver.
Yeah.
That's what we said last week with Shane. Shane, he won by what, 15 seconds?
Almost 17, I think.
Or whatever it was. Like, we were like, okay, hey, well deserved, man. I wouldn't want to see that every week.
Yeah.
But hey, he deserved to win that race by 16 seconds.
Yeah.
Instead of Briscoe, who was 7th place, 5th place car at
Yeah,
best.
if Dirty Air wasn't an issue, Denny probably would have won the race just based on Denny or Blaney. Chris would have probably been right there with him, and you know, Briscoe would have been seconds behind because he did not have near the car any of the rest of the top 5 had.
No disrespect.
No disrespect, obviously, but you know, and people are going to bring up, well, there was passing throughout the field. Yeah, well, there's passing throughout the field because when you're running 15th, the dirty air on the car in 14th is essentially the same as the dirty air on the car in 15th. So if it's a better car behind you, he's probably going to be able to pass you.
People argue with me about that at Bristol when I went there. Oh, we had to fucking Blaney and somebody else. Ross came up through the field.
It gets hard, and they say it every week. It's harder to pass the further you get forward.
Yeah.
And that's because
Which is
the cars
fine.
the cars are better.
Yeah, drivers are better.
But also
normally.
because the dirty air does not have as much effect on the leading car as it does on the trailing car.
Yeah.
If you're running in the middle of the field,
you got dirty air no matter where you go.
both cars are experiencing essentially the same aerodynamic effects.
Yeah.
But the car in front does not have the same dirty air as the car in second, and the car in second does not have the dirty air that the car in third has, and it gets progressively worse as you go back.
Yeah.
But it starts evening out as you get towards the middle.
Yeah.
And sure, you had guys like Brad that can make passes throughout the middle of the field, and even
Think about it like this: if you're in a box truck, you're in a trailer. Have you ever loaded up a trailer, which I have done before? I used to work at FedEx. The deeper you go, the hotter it gets. Think of it like that as dirty air. If you're the front of the trailer, it's not that bad. Get a little deeper, it's a little hot. Third, fourth, fifth, it's fucking hot. Getting to 20th, fucking I am fucking steaming in here.
I tell you what,
That's a good analogy.
I try to get deep as much as I can.
Hey, me too. That was a good analogy, though, wasn't it?
Sure, I'll take your word for it.
People that have been in a hot ass trailer in the middle of the summer.
I ain't never been in a hot ass trailer, but
I have. In front of that trailer, don't feel that bad. But
Anyway.
man, the deeper you get, woo-wee!
take the under trays off these cars. Let them
Under
race.
trays.
The diffusers, take the spoilers.
The lunch tray. Take them lunch trays out.
It's an under tray. It's the tray under the car. The under tray.
Under.
Under.
Take
Take it
it down
off the
the
car.
under.
Yeah, way down yonder
Under on the Chattahoochee. It
Never
was
knew-
hot as motherfucking hoochie coochie.
Never knew how much a water motor went to me.
How much that muddy water?
Huddy motor.
You're drunk.
I swear to drunk I ain't God.
Oh, shit. All right, let's get into this. So at the end of the day, real quick, there's nothing to do about it. I don't think NASCAR even wants to do anything about it. And Chase Elliott had a good quote on Sunday. He said, referring to dirty air, he said, you're just going to keep on hearing the complaints about it because it's not going. We're going to continue to complain about it until something happens, until something gets fixed with this car. So you're going to continue to hear that, which is a good point from Chase Elliott because you will. And so yeah. Anyways, in-season tournament. What's that, Trent? Or what's that, Riley?
Well, there's a tournament and it's in season.
Good analogy, or
So,
good way to explain it.
For the next 5 races, which will be Atlanta, the Chicago Street Course, Sonoma, Dover, and ending at Indianapolis.
Ending at Indy.
Yes. For the next 5 races, all broadcast on the Turner Network television
And HBO Max.
and HBO Max. NASCAR is having an in-season challenge presented by DraftKings Sportsbook.
Yep.
So what essentially is going to happen, all these cars have been seeded based on their last finishes during the
Seeding tournament.
the seeding
Which was the last
round, which
5.
is the Amazon races.
Yeah.
All the Amazon races were to seat the top 32.
Yeah.
The top 32.
Which my problem with this is, where the fuck is Shane Van Gisbergen?
Or excuse me, the top 32. Shane Van Gisbergen is not on it because he's not in the top 32 in points.
So he did have a bad day at Pocono.
Yeah, it's based on points, not playoffs.
Because I was about to say Brad's 17th, he ain't 17th in
Yeah,
points.
the wins don't matter. It's based on points.
Okay.
So, your 32,
I was just surprised to see Ty Dillon in here and
Yeah.
not fucking Shane Van
yeah,
Gisbergen.
your 32 challengers for the in-season tournament are,
We ain't got to do all that.
well, these are the rounds.
Okay, go ahead.
So in the first round, you got 32 people.
Okay,
So
all
in the
right.
first round, you got Denny Hamlin, 1 seed, versus Ty Dillon, the 32 seed. You've got the 16 and 17th seed, Busch and Keselowski, 8 and 25.
Kyle Busch is an ass.
8 and 25, Bowman and Joey Logano. Wallace and Suarez are your 9 and 24 seeds. Nemechek and Berry, 12 and 21. You got Elliott and Austin Dillon for your 5 and 28. You've got your 13th seed, Ross Chastain, and Eric Jones as your 20th seed. Christopher Bell and Ricky Stenhouse Jr., 4 and 29. That fills out your left side of your bracket. You've got Chase Briscoe and Noah Gragson, 2 and 31. Ryan Preece and William Byron, 15 and 18. You've got Blaney, which is the 7th seed. Carson Hocevar, which is the 26th. Kyle Larson and Tyler Reddick, 10 and 23. Michael McDowell, 11. Allmendinger, 22. Ty Gibbs and Justin Haley, 6 and 27. Zane Smith, 14. Austin Cindric, 19. Chris Buescher and Todd Gilliland are your 3 and 30 seeds. So those are your 32 drivers that make up your 32-car field in the in-season challenge. Obviously, like I said, these 32 drivers are not the top 32, are the top 32 in points right now, and they were seeded based on their last 5 races. So the number 1 seed, Denny Hamlin, is not leading the points right now, obviously. But he is the number 1 seed based on the last 5 races. And, you know, similar to, like, you might be questioning, well, Joe Nemechek is 12th.
John Hunter.
Joe
Nemechek ain't driven in the Cup Series
John Hunter
forever.
Nemechek is 12th. Why is he ahead of Josh Berry when Josh Berry is, you know, got to win and he's ahead of him in points? It's because of the last 5
Actually,
races.
I don't think he is.
He is.
In points?
Yeah, he's like 20th in points.
Okay, I'm about to say John Hunter's got to be
They're
right
close,
there. Yeah.
but
John Hunter's been on a roll like Cottonelle. He was made for all this shit.
He was. Okay, better one. Ryan Preece and William Byron. William Byron's leading the regular season points, or is he second?
Yeah.
So obviously
He's first.
He's not ahead of Preece, but so those are your top 32.
Or he is ahead of Priest.
We have filled out our brackets.
Yep. If you want to fill out a bracket, go to NASCAR.com and you'll find the link for the in-season tournament bracket. I think there's a way you can do it. I printed ours out.
Yeah, so we're going to, obviously fill one out online, because if you get it all right, I think you win $1 million or $100,000 or something.
Something like that.
There's a challenge for winning, doing it correctly.
Which you're not going to. There's no way.
Yeah, obviously not. And the winner of this,
especially with the way the races are.
the winner of this bracket challenge, as far as the racers go, they win
$100 million.
God damn,
$1 million.
They win $1 million themselves.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, I'm going to give my first round winners.
Okay.
And then you can give yours. In the first round, I've got Denny Hamlin beating Ty Dillon. Obviously. Now, this is at Atlanta this weekend, so I got Denny Hamlin.
It could be all over the place this weekend.
Yeah. I've got Denny Hamlin beating Ty Dillon. I've got Brad Keselowski beating Kyle Busch. I've got Joey Logano beating Alex Bowman. I've got Daniel Suarez beating Bubba Wallace. I've got Josh Berry beating John Hunter Nemechek. I've got Chase Elliott beating Austin Dillon. I've got Ross Chastain beating Eric Jones. And I've got Ricky Stenhouse Jr. beating Christopher Bell. To the left side, or to the right side of the bracket, I've got Chase Briscoe beating Noah Gragson. I've got Ryan Preece beating William Byron. I've got Carson Hocevar beating Ryan Blaney.
Blasphemy!
I've got Kyle Larson beating Tyler Reddick. I've got Michael McDowell beating A.J. Allmendinger. I've got Ty Gibbs beating Justin Haley. I've got Austin Cindric beating Zane Smith. And I've got Chris Buescher beating Todd Gilliland.
Okay. So we got some disagreements here. All right. Trenton Editing, I'll give you a second to get this ready. In my first round matchup, I got Denny Hamlin beating Ty Dillon.
Blasphemous! Stay off the weed!
I can't. I got a problem. I got Brad Keselowski beating Kyle Busch. I got Joe Logano beating Alex Bowman. I got Daniel Suarez beating Bubba Wallace.
Chalk.
I got John Hunter Nemechek beating Josh Berry.
Wrong.
I got Chase Elliott beating Austin Dillon. I got Ross the Boss Chastain beating Eric Jones. That was a tough one for me. They're both pretty good on super speedways. And I got Ricky Stenhouse Jr. beating Christopher Bell for the 4-29 matchup. On the left side of my bracket, I got Noah Gragson beating Chase Briscoe. I got William Byron beating Ryan Priest. I got
Blaney beating Jose.
Yeah, Blaney beating Hocevar. Sorry, I lost where I was. I got Reddick beating Larson.
Wrong.
I got McDowell beating Allmendinger. I got Justin Haley beating Ty Gibbs.
Wrong.
I got Zane Smith beating Austin Cindric.
Wrong.
And I got Chris Buescher beating David Gilliland.
Who?
Todd Gilliland.
David Gilliland ain't raced 20 years.
He wasn't good when he was.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Trenton Editing, we're going to round 2
Yep.
at the Chicago Street Course. Hamlin is going to take the win against Brad Keselowski.
Yeah.
Daniel Suarez is going to beat Joey Logano. Chase Elliott is going to beat Josh Berry. And Ross Chastain is going to beat Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Over to the right side of the bracket. Ryan Priest is going to beat Chase Briscoe. Kyle Larson is going to beat Carson Hocevar. Joe Gibbs. Ty Gibbs is going to beat Michael McDowell. And Chris Buescher is going to beat Austin Cindric.
All righty. This is very, very like a real NCAA tournament bracket, how it's going for us.
This is crazy. I just saw who you got winning.
Why are you cheating?
I didn't mean to, but guess what?
You got this
I got the same guy.
at Chicago Street Course, I got Denny Hamlin beating Brad. I got Daniel Suarez beating Joey. I got Chase Elliott beating John Hunter. And I got Ross Chastain beating Ricky Stenhouse Jr. So our left side is the exact same. On the right side, however, I got some big changes. I got William Byron beating Noah Gragson. I got Tyler Reddick beating Ryan Blaney. I got Michael McDowell beating Justin Haley. And I got Chris Buescher beating Zane Smith.
Yes, sir. Going on to Sonoma. Second row.
Trenton Editing.
Yes, Trenton Editing. Going on to Sonoma. We've got four matchups this week for you. Dennis Hamlin's going to beat Daniel Suarez. Chase Elliott is going to beat Ross Chastain. Kyle Larson's going to beat Ryan Priest. And Chris Buescher is going to beat Ty Gibbs.
Wow, shocker. All right, Sonoma for me. I got Denny Hamlin beating Daniel Suarez as well. I got Chase Elliott beating Ross Chastain as well. And the left or right side of the bracket, I got William Byron beating Tyler Reddick. And I got Chris Buescher beating Michael McDowell.
Okay. So your final four, you have?
I have in my final four Denny Hamlin, Chase Elliott, William Byron, and Chris Buescher.
My final four is Denny Hamlin, Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, and Chris Buescher. I've got Chase Elliott beating Denny Hamlin at Dover. And I've got Chris Buescher beating Kyle Larson at Dover as well, making the final.
I would
for
love
me,
this championship.
Chase Elliott and
match.
Chris Buescher.
Okay. In my left side of the bracket, Denny Hamlin and Chase Elliott at Dover. I got Denny Hamlin beating Chase Elliott in that matchup. And the right side at Dover, William Byron and Chris Buescher. And I got Chris Buescher beating William Byron.
With that being said, I've seen your winner. We
Yeah.
have the same winner on 3. The winner of the NASCAR's inaugural in-season challenge at Indy is going to be who? Chris Buescher! That was not planned.
Was not planned, I swear to God.
We did not see each other's brackets until
Until you just cheated
just
and
now.
looked at it. All right, so why do you have Chris Buescher winning? I'll give you my reasons, but why do you have this
So
one?
I've got Chris Buescher winning because he's got a pretty easy path.
Yeah.
He's got to be honest with you, his hardest race is going to be this weekend in Atlanta because Todd Gilliland's going to have a pretty decent weekend.
And it's just, he could wreck lap 6.
Obviously.
And Gillen survive.
But then you go to
28.
Chicago Street Course.
He's going to be.
He's a hell of a road course racer. Now,
Cindric
granted,
or
he struggles at Chicago. It's probably his worst street course, but
Yeah.
still, he gets top 10 there every time they go.
Yeah.
And then
I think for this to happen, though, I do think Zane Smith needs to beat Austin Cindric this weekend.
I don't.
Because Cindric is a pretty good road course racer.
sure he is.
Zane Smith's not really not.
Well, so is Ty Gibbs, and if Ty Gibbs gets there to Sonoma, that's going to be a tough one for him as well.
That's fair.
But Chris Buescher could win any of these races.
Yeah.
He could win Atlanta this weekend, obviously. They're always good at super speedway stuff. He's the most consistent road course racer in the next gen era. So you got the Chicago Street Course in Sonoma. He qualified on the pole last year at Dover,
Or that's a couple years ago.
or 2 years ago at Dover. He's been good there. And then Indy. What happened at the last two?
All
two
you got to do is beat one other driver, though.
Yeah.
Or that's every week.
But he's got, the last two ovals other than Dover, once they get to Indy, have been Michigan, a 2 mile oval, and Indy, a 2.5 mile, or Pocono, a 2.5 mile oval.
Triangle.
Indy, very similar to Pocono at least, but speed translates from those three tracks, and he probably should have won both of them. So if he makes it there, he's going to be trouble. Mm-hmm. And I didn't plan on. I didn't make this with a winner in mind.
Yeah.
I just went, round by round, race by race, who I had to pick. And Chris Buescher was the one I came to the conclusion of. And it's not based on I want him to win. It's just based on matchup and based on the race, the track that they're matching up with. So I think Chris Buescher has as good a shot as anybody to win this one.
Yeah, I agree with you for the most part about Chris having one of the easier paths to make it to the Final Four in the championship race. Like I said, Austin Cindric, Zane Smith, second round. If he can survive this weekend at Atlanta against Todd Gilliland, Echo Park, whatever the fuck it's called, he's in good shape, I think. Ty Gibbs scares me a little bit. If Ty Gibbs can beat Justin Haley this weekend, and then he could beat Michael McDowell. I mean, that Gibbs, if it works out, Gibbs and McDowell matchup at Chicago, that's going to be a hell of a battle. I think both those guys could win the race, could run top 5, top 10, or they could run 20th. So that'll be interesting to see who advances there. But once you get to Sonoma, I think Chris is better than both those guys at Sonoma. And then go to Dover. Obviously, that's the scariest one for me, for Chris. William Byron's been pretty good if he gets there. But even if William Byron's not the one, if Tyler Reddick gets to Dover, and if Blaney gets to Dover, or Larson gets to Dover, that's the one where you're like, I could see Chris losing the Final Four. But if you get to Indy, I think Chris, last year he wasn't great there, and Denny was solid, but Denny had his problems, and Denny's never been able to win at Indy. I think Chris can outrun Denny at Indy. If it's not Denny, if it's Chase, Chase has never been that great at Indy. It'd be a very good, compelling matchup there. I don't know really which one I'd go for there. But the left side of the bracket is just weaker than the right side as far as heavy hitters, and the heavy hitters are all on the top side of the right. The hardest bracket is the top side of the right because you got Briscoe, you got Priest, who's been pretty good this year. You got Byron, you got Blaney, you got Hocevar, who's been very quick. You got Larson, you got Reddick. Like those guys all, except for Noah Gregson, I could see winning the race, or winning those races and advancing obviously automatically. And then you got some good guys on the left side like Briscoe, or like Chase, like Chastain, like Logano and Bowman. They can be solid. Keselowski can have some good runs. Kyle Busch, if he doesn't wreck, he can have a good run at all these tracks. But I just don't trust that 18 right now, or the driver really. So I just got Chris because if he can get past Dover, whoever gets out of that top side of that right side of the bracket, and he can get past Dover, I think he can win Indy, and he'll have the 50-50 shot to win the whole damn thing.
Well, with this, I know we talked about it when they announced this, but with the in-season challenge coming up, are you excited for this? Do you think this is going to be a good thing?
First time for everything is usually a good idea. It'll work for the first year. It's kind of like the throwback weekend. It's kind of like the NBA in-season tournament. The first year of this. Of the NBA in-season challenge was highly successuul. Ratings were skyrocketing.
Didn't your Lakers win it?
They're not my Lakers, but the Lakers did win the in-season tournament. Yes, they did.
Dude, it's hot as fuck in here.
Yeah, it's getting very hot, but I think it'll work. I think it'll create some buzz for the drivers, for the fans to kind of keep up with. Middle of the regular season, it's kind of hard to kind of get excited for stuff other than just the race itself. You got the playoff bubble, obviously, but you got something else to kind of look forward to as the matchups of these drivers. I think these drivers are too competitive for them not to care about their matchups. Like you bet your ass that Joe Logano is going to be looking for where Alex Bowman's running this weekend.
Do you think we're
You
gonna
can bet your ass that Tyler Reddick is going to be looking where Kyle Larson's running this weekend.
So do you don't think that if Brad in 2 weeks at Chicago Street Course is running 15th, Denny's 14th, that Brad would move Denny to get that spot because of the in-season tournament?
No, I don't think they'll take it that seriously.
It's $1 million.
I mean, yeah, but it's according to what
I think
driver
they
it
should.
If
I think he should.
If it's Brad, no. I think Brad's gotten a little soft in his older years. If it's Carson Hocevar with Tyler Reddick, yeah, I think he does. I think if it's Ross Chastain against Ricky Stenhouse Jr., yeah, I think he does. If it's Joey against Daniel, yeah. But certain drivers might do it. Certain drivers might not.
I think they should. I think they should take.
They should, but I don't think. You think Chris Busch is going to move Zane Smith?
I think he should move Tyler Reddick.
Well,
I think
Chicago.
He still owes Tyler Reddick one, by the way.
Tyler Reddick.
He still owes Tyler Reddick one from Darlington. But
what was that?
you got one of those. I don't. Anyway, I think
Grab his mullet.
I think the drivers should take it seriously, and I think the drivers should care about it, and I think they should, race a little harder around these guys because it matters. It's $1 million. Now, what I would like to see is if they're going to do this, fucking put some points on the line. Put a playoff point on the line. Put
5.
Put 5 state playoff points at the end of it. Just for the winner. Winner takes all. That's it. Second place gets nothing.
Yeah.
Make it worth something.
Yeah. Instead of just money.
I like the money aspect of it. It's going to make it matter. But if you put some points on
$1 million to Denny. To be fair, he just had a kid and he owns a race team.
$1 million.
Denny Hamlin.
That's $1 million.
I know, but $1 million don't hit like it used to. A lot of these big name drivers, $1 million.
Yeah, $1 million to Denny Hamlin's not the same as $1 million to
Justin
Carson
Haley.
Hocevar or Justin Haley, but that's still $1 million. That's a lot of fucking money.
It is, but I agree with you. I think money should not be the only thing that should be awarded at the end of these races or at the end of this tournament. I am excited for it. I hope the drivers care. J.C. Elliott didn't even know about it. At the media center this week at Pocono, they're talking to him about it, and he had no idea about it. So I don't know how true that is of Chase, or he's just kind of blowing it off, and whatever is what it is. But I hope these drivers do take this shit seriously because this is something that could entice the sport to bettors. I mean, hell, you could have guys that don't care about NASCAR, but they love to bet. They see this in-season tournament thing. They play it, and they'll be watching NASCAR the next 5 weeks, and the ratings will be skyrocketed because all these guys that love to bet sports. You think about it. The only thing to bet right now on sports-wide, as far as popular sports go, is baseball, MLB. That's it right now. There's no football going on. Basketball just ended last night, Sunday night. Hockey's over with. You ain't really got a whole lot of sports to bet on right now. And a lot of these sports guys, that's what they run. They run their life on betting sports and understanding sports on how to bet certain things and certain games. You put this in-season tournament right there in the middle of the summer, and I think that's why NASCAR did this. I think this is the perfect time to do this. Now, the 5 tracks are a little chaotic, but I'd rather this be chaotic than the playoffs. But the 5 races into this playoffs, you got 2 road courses, quote unquote super speedway, 1 shorter high bank track in Dover, and then you got another 2.5 mile fast as shit track in Indianapolis to crown a champion for this tournament. So I think that aspect will get people that really don't care about NASCAR, that never really cared about NASCAR, they catch a hint of this. They catch a hint of this in-season tournament. They fill out a bracket, kind of like March Madness. People that don't watch college basketball all year, they'll fill out a bracket and they'll watch March Madness. You know why? Because it's something fun to keep up with. You all can have a horse in the race, whoever you pick, whether you know NASCAR or not. And you get those guys and those people to watch these races. And that'll help for your ratings. So overall, I think it's a big win. And, you got to go back to the maker of this, and that was Denny Hamlin a couple years ago. He's the one that kind of came up with this idea on his podcast a couple years ago, and we're seeing it come to life now, and it's going to be now, if he wins the damn thing, everybody's going to say it was fixed because Denny came up with the idea, right? That's what people are going to say.
Well, people are retarded. People are, retarded. I mean, there's no way else to say it. Ban me, TikTok. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, you don't give a fuck. You don't put any effort in these videos. I do.
I put effort into making a goddamn podcast.
Barely.
Listen, I'm the reason you get any views to begin with.
Okay.
Check the numbers.
Whatever you say.
All of my videos get more views than your videos.
Because you say stupid shit. You're the Skip Bayless on this podcast.
Skip! Stay off the weed!
Yes. Stay off the roads.
I tell you what, I'm not playing solitaire right now, though.
That's Stephen A. Smith.
I know, but they were on the show together.
But you said Skip. I said Skip.
Skip!
That's Shannon.
And then I said, stay off the weed.
Do you have any rape charges against you?
Not yet.
That's not something I'll get canceled out for laughing at that. We take domestic violence very seriously on this podcast.
Domestic violence got nothing to do with rape.
Kind of, though. It's kind of the same thing. It's just sexual assault compared to physical assault. They're both physical. Am I wrong, Mr.?
Yeah.
I'm wrong?
Yeah.
I mean, both is bad. But
Yeah, both are not good,
Yeah,
obviously. That's about all they share.
Okay. They're both criminal charges.
Yes, that's true. That's two things they share. Domestic violence occurs when two people that are living in the same household, they're called cohabitants, enter into a physical altercation with one another.
Yeah.
Rape is when somebody has unsolicited sexual intercourse with another human being, whether they live under the same house or not.
Yeah.
So not the same thing.
Okay, I didn't mean the exact same thing, but I meant kind of. It's both bad to the public. If you get caught with it.
Bad to the bone. Well, it's bad whether you get caught or not.
Boner. Bad to the bone.
Bad.
But fucking Deshaun Watson can't get no massage with a little extra.
Florida
happy ending.
sedan,
What's worse?
Shane.
What's worse, America? Deshaun Watson
Deshaun Watson.
or raping somebody?
Well, that's essentially
No,
what he
it's
did.
not. Or Deshaun Watson's a good.
Deshaun Watson is the fourth best quarterback on his pro football team.
Fourth?
Dylan
Yeah, maybe
Gabriel.
with a torn Achilles. or
Dylan
whatever they,
Gabriel going to win the starting job over there.
Shador Sanders got it as long as he slows down.
Here's the cool thing about Shador Sanders.
Oh, boy. We are trying to get canceled right now.
He went 101 when he should have been going 60.
Yeah.
He
must
went
have saw this.
He went like 135 when he should have went 20.
I don't
In the draft.
Oh, damn. I was very confused. That's a good one right there.
That was
Did you
funny.
come with that one yourself?
No, I saw that one.
Okay, I was about to say, there ain't no way you come up
Shador
with
Sanders is a bitch.
this. Anyways, let's rip them topics.
Press that button.
Press that button.
Press it.
We're not
Squeeze it.
we're not hitting it.
Hit that button. RTT.
Ripping the topics.
Topics. We're gonna be ripping them.
Rip them topics.
What are we ripping?
Xfinity.
Oh, Xfinity race. I can't talk. It's not any different on this podcast.
Did Jeb Burton win?
No, he didn't.
Lord is a damn.
Connor, did Carson Quaffle win?
Nope, sure didn't.
Damn, he had a good run though.
What about
Him and one of my favorite drivers in the Cup Series had a hell of a battle for
Ryan
fifth.
Sieg?
Nah, he didn't win either. He finished.
Kyle Sieg.
He blew up, didn't he? Connor Zillage.
Santino Ferrucci.
Yeah, him. That's IndyCar. I heard he like shotgunned a beer or something.
He did.
Finishing
He
third
finished
at Road
third.
America this weekend.
Did you see Joseph Newgarden's crash?
From Gateway?
Well, he wrecked at Gateway, but then he wrecked again this weekend at.
Oh, did he? Damn, he having a rough
He
time.
smacked that motherfucker.
What was worse, his
The one at Road America
His
was
wreck.
worse. The one at Gateway looked worse, but the
Oh,
one at
okay.
Gateway was worse.
I got you. Yeah, Connor Zillage wins with Dale Jr. on the pit box.
Junebug!
He won for one in the crew chief role. He's a crew chief at that car every week, apparently. Did a good job. I think Chase Elliott had the best car, though. I kind of got screwed there at the
I
end.
think the 7
but,
car had the best car, but
no.
he led the whole race. But
Chase Elliott led most of the race.
Yeah, bullshit.
Not most of it, but a decent part. of
those
it.
two were the best.
Yeah, they're the best two, for sure. But Connor did a good job working his way through traffic, and and I'm grabbing his dick. And he passed his lifelong butt buddy, Jesse Love. Jesse Love.
Who?
They make love in the motorhome.
Do
I
you
think.
love love?
I do. What is love?
Baby, don't hurt me
Don't hurt me.
no more.
Nope. But good job to Connor, man. He drove his ass off. Dale made a good call. I know it wasn't just him, but he made a good call of pitting early in stage 2, I think.
No, he won stage 2.
That's right. He stayed out in stage 2. And then he pitted later on. And then,
Got some help with some cautions.
yeah. And then what happened to Chase? How did he get? Oh, that's right. Justin
Seven
Allgaier
missed the corner.
sent the fucking.
He did
God
Justin
almighty.
He did Justin Allgaier.
Justin Allgaier acting like it's the last lap. It was like, what, 15 to go, 20 to go. Just drove it in there. Car didn't stick. About wrecked himself and Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott lifted, so they both wouldn't wreck. They lost like 7-8 spots. Connor Zillage came out with Jesse Love and all them on the good end of it. But that's what kind of allowed Connor to win the race was Justin Allgaier's mistake. Because ultimately, I think Chase Elliott probably would have won this race if he could have kept the track position, but kind of ran out of time there at the end. But yeah, congratulations to Connor, his first quote unquote oval win in NASCAR, so that, or at least Xfinity Series. So that was cool to see. I like Connor; he's a hell of a talent. He's gonna be a problem in this sport for many years to come, and it's cool to see Dale win as a crew chief. And even though it was kind of a publicity stunt, I said that earlier last week. I said it before Kyle Busch, but nobody came at me about it. But I didn't say it like Kyle Busch did. I didn't have that snark that Kyle Busch likes to have when he says shit like that. I kind of say, oh, it's publicity stunt, but it's cool to see. I like to see it. I like to see kind of what you're saying about a good story. It's a good story. Dale Jr.'s first time crew chief and wins the race. I mean, that's awesome. In the 88 car at that with his own team. So it's cool to see. And hope he does it again someday. I think he will. I think he got those competitive juices flowing again.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty decent race. Obviously Justin Allgaier doing Justin Allgaier things, made for the good story. But Dale did a pretty good job up on a pit box. That's being a crew chief these days. Now it's kind of like being a head coach of a football team. Some of them are, Sean Payton. And, some of them call plays. Some of them do the math. Some of them, make the decisions. Some of them can do it all, right? But then some of them are Dabo Sweeney or Shane Beamer, and they're team builders, and they're rah-rah guys, and they're, glue guys, and they're there for motivation and keeping the team together. And they make decisions here and there, but mostly they're there, to point the ship in the right direction. And that's what Dale was. Dale was Shane Beamer. Dale was Dabo Sweeney. He was there to be a good voice in his driver's ear. He was there to keep the team together. Yeah, he made a decision on when to pit here or there, but he did it with the information that was given to him by the offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator and the special teams coordinator and the analytics guy.
Looking at that Waffle House menu?
Yeah, he had information given to him, obviously. And that's okay. Some crew chiefs are that way, and that's all right. There is a role for everybody, and I think on that team, they could have me up there, crew chief in that, and as long as I'm willing to take the advice of the engineers, we're going to be okay. And that's what I think happened on Saturday with Connor Zillage and Dale Jr. Obviously, publicity stunt. Yes, it was. But, Dale still did a good job. He made good decisions when he had to make them.
And good point, real quick. Dale didn't say, hey, he suspended Marty Lindley. I want to do this. Marty Lindley said, you need to do this.
Yes.
So it wasn't like Dale was trying to do this.
And that's when Dale got up there, he knew what his drawbacks were, and he knew what he knew, and he knew what he didn't know, and he let the guys that know the information make the decisions that they are paid to make those decisions for. And that's what a good leader does. That's what a good supervisor does in any, job. And then that's what the crew chief is. He's a supervisor of the team, and he's there to make sure that people are in the position to, progress and make the team go forward. And that's what happened on Saturday with that 88 team is Dale Jr. let guys do their job. And, he was there to tell Connor, be in the year, hey, we're going to stay out here. This is why. Hey, this is what I think you need to do on restarts. This is that. This is what I would do. And that's what a good leader is. And I think there's something to be said about having a guy up there as a voice of reason. Maybe he's not making all the decisions. Maybe he's not calculating fuel. Maybe he's not, maybe he's not got all the information about tire wear and this, that, and the third. But maybe he's a good friend to the guy driving the car. Maybe the guy driving the car has a lot of respect for him. Maybe he's got 100 wins in the Xfinity Series. Maybe he's got Hall of Fame credentials in NASCAR. Having a guy like that in your ear instills confidence, whether he's the one making the decision on how much fuel to put in a car or not. And there's something to be said for that. And this is the first win Connor Zilisch has ever got on an oval. And I don't think it's a coincidence that Dale Jr. was in his ear for it. I think he helped him win that race. I think if somebody else was on the pit box, it might not have happened. So, with that being said, the Xfinity race was pretty decent. I think it was better than the race on Sunday. Which
he had a pass that a guy was clearly faster than the other guy, and he actually could pass him.
Yeah, exactly.
At the end with Jesse Love and Connor.
So, pretty decent race on Saturday. Was excited to see a good story unfold and have a good ending there with the 88 team. So, yeah.
Yeah. What about the truck race? I'll be honest with you. I was working Friday, so I
forgot they even race at Pocono.
Yeah, I know Connor. Lane Riggs won. I think Corey Haim had a problem again. He was leading most of the race. I saw him win stage 2 or something. But I missed most of the race, so I can't really speak on that. And like you said, I think you were sleeping, or you just didn't know it was on Friday. So we can't really speak on the truck race on Friday. But congratulations to your boy Lane Riggs winning the race, not by dumping somebody or wrecking nobody. He won by a pretty comfortable margin. And where are you going?
I thought you were tapping me to go restart the camera.
Oh, no, I was just saying your boy Lane Riggs.
Yeah.
That's who you cheer for in the truck series. So he got a win, got his first win of the season, so he's in the playoffs. Congratulations to him, but we can't speak on that race, so we didn't really get the chance to watch it. KFB goes after Dale Jr.'s crew chiefing role. What did he say?
It was a publicity stunt.
It is, because he said it before they won the race on Friday. But yeah, Kyle Busch kind of said, yes, publicity stunt. They have other guys that could go up on that box, and he called Dale Jr. a warm body up there. Got engineers and stuff like that could call the race. Don't really, anybody can, not anybody, but most of people could call a race based off, all the technology engineers and what people are telling the crew chief nowadays and stuff like that. And he got a lot of pushback for it. This is the way he kind of said it, because we have the same opinion, both me and you do. It's just the way Kyle Busch said it, I think, was what rubbed people the wrong way. And it's Dale Jr. on top of that. Junior Nation is crazy. You think Chase Elliott fans are bad? Dale Jr. fans were insane back in the day. He could be running 25th and be like, it's just rigged. Dale Jr. should be winning this race. If Dale Jr. didn't have a bad pit stop right there, he'd be winning this race by 20 seconds. Shit like that. It's like, come on, man. But, yeah, I think Kyle Busch's quotes, he kind of didn't retract it, but he kind of explained himself. He said, just, based off, he said, like, crew chief suspensions these days are stupid. And, obviously, he said the same thing about Jeff Gordon if he became the crew chief for the 24 car. If Rudy Fugo got suspended at Hendrick Motorsports, it'd be the same thing there. I don't really have a problem with it. The way he sounded, I get why people were upset, but we all have the same opinion, at least us racing fans that seem to understand what's going on. I didn't have a problem with it. Riley, did you have a problem with what Kyle Busch said?
No, he's right. It is a publicity stunt, and that's fine. I don't think he was trying to be an asshole. I don't think he was trying to talk shit. I mean, but it is what it is. Everybody else said the same thing, from what I understand.
Well, Joey said it was cool and it was awesome. And
Yeah,
can't wait
but
to see it.
everybody kind of agreed that it wasn't like that. He wasn't going to be up there calculating fuel mileage and making engineering decisions and making decisions on what adjustments to make. Like everybody knew that.
Or for the right or for the front tire changer to work on, go the other way on the gun and shit like that.
Yeah.
What crew chiefs kind of do.
Yeah, nobody thought Dale was going to be doing that anyway. So I mean, he was kind of just saying the quiet part out loud, and maybe he said it in kind of Kyle Busch's asshole demeanor, but the content of what he said is not incorrect, and most people agree with him. So no, I don't have a problem with what he said.
Yeah. Just Kyle, if Chase Elliott says this, I don't think it's even. It may be a little bit of an issue, but it's just because it's Kyle Busch, and they've had their beefs in the past. It's 2008 Richmond, 2007 Michigan, shit like that. 2026 schedule rumors, or 2026.
You're gonna have to tell me about him.
So there's rumors. Rumor has it that
There's a rumor going around.
Chicago will be done for next year, and they're going to San Diego
Never heard
for
of
a
it.
street race next year. Chicagoland is rumored to come back, and Mexico City is rumored to come back. And if it's not Mexico City, it will be Canada. So Riley, what do you think about those rumors?
Well, I'm okay with Mexico City coming back. I think that's okay. I'm good with Canada if that shows up, as long as it doesn't take the place of a oval race. Chicagoland coming back, I think is a good addition. I think Chicagoland should be on the schedule.
Carlos Osovar even kind of spoiled it on one of his Twitch. I think it's Twitch stream, saying, "Yeah, I can't wait to go back to Chicagoland next year. It's I think this car's going to race well there." He said that last week or something on his stream.
I didn't see that, but
Yeah.
I think he's right. And then
And Carlos Osovar is a driver. He's in NASCAR, so you think if he heard something about it,
yeah.
it's probably going to happen.
And then obviously Chicago going away, it is what it is. If they're going to run a street course, I don't care where it is. I think a street course being on the schedule is fine. In being in San Diego, it is what it is. But I do wish that if they're going to hold a street course, that it would be a more permanent thing. That's my only thing. So if they get something done with San Diego, I'd like it to be they race there more than 3 times.
Yeah. Where would you like to see these races at? So the rumor about Mexico next year, if they do race in Mexico, it'll be the week after Easter, which they take a break for Easter. That'll give them 2 weeks, which is what I said last week. Makes more sense logistically wise. They do it after Easter, or they take another bye week, 2 bye weeks next year. I like that idea. After Easter, in Chicago, where would you have Chicago and San Diego?
Well, it depends on what races are replaced. Because if you bring Chicagoland back, you're going to have to take out a race somewhere. So it depends on what race.
I hate to say it, it might be Bristol.
Well, I doubt they'll do it in March.
That's true. Well, it was April this year, but yeah, it'd be pretty cold in Chicago. That's true.
So,
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. The Mexico City could replace Bristol.
So if Mexico City replaces Bristol's date, you could put the Chicago date, June. That'd
July,
be fine.
that's where they used to have it on Saturday night race
And then,
back in the day when we were kids.
yeah, and then as far as, I would not like to see, I don't think, they probably could do San Diego for July 4th weekend, but I'd
They got
rather,
Chicago. It's July 4th weekend the past 3 years.
yeah, I'd rather see that be at,
Oval.
an oval. I think
It's
that
America. We were built on ovals.
I think that's a better Saturday night race. You have a fireworks show after.
I
So
said this last year. Put Atlanta 4th of July weekend.
I'm good with that.
It's a super speedway. It's the mini Daytona where they used to have it for years.
Mm.
I think Atlanta would fit 4th of July weekend perfectly.
Yeah, I'm good with that. So, Chicago getting in somewhere in, early June would be fine.
Not
Mexico.
Chicago. Or Chicagoland, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, Mexico after Easter would be fine with me, and then Chicagoland, you can kind of squeeze it in wherever. I think it'd be a good playoff track, though.
Take New Hampshire Gateway out.
Yeah, one of
for the
those two.
playoffs.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Last thing on ripping the topics this week, and I apologize because I forgot. Amazon Prime grades. What would you give Amazon this year?
I give them a good B plus. I think the booth is the best booth in NASCAR. I love Adam Alexander. I love Steve Letarte. I love Dale Jr., so can't get mad at that. On-air talent-wise, as far as pre-race and post-race, for having zero experience doing that kind of work, I think they did great.
Corey and Carl were phenomenal.
We're awesome. And then, you got, what's her name?
Danielle Trotta.
Danielle Trotta. She's really hot, so that's good. Then you've got, the pit road reporters. You got, Trevor Bayne did okay.
Which I'm going to say right now. Week 1, Trevor Bayne at Coca-Cola 600, wasn't that great. Week 5 at Pocono, he's great. He's my favorite, other than Marty Snyder. I love him.
Yeah.
He shocked the hell out of me. He was so good, I think, the past 3 weeks. Michigan until Pocono. The first 2 weeks were a little rough for him. He's never done that stuff. He's done, I think, some stuff for Fox and the Truck Series the past couple of years. But, man, he really got into his own the past 3 weeks. I love him as a pit reporter. He's so much better than Regan Smith on Fox.
Obviously.
Like, not even close.
So am I and you. But
What?
so are you and I. Better than Regan Smith.
Oh, yeah. I could do pit road.
But, yeah, I
I could
think...
do play-by-play.
I
The thing with Chris Buescher, wasn't it? I said something about it, and then the Amazon team, Adam and Steve and Dale said the same thing like 2 minutes after.
as soon as 23 blew a right front, I said that motherfucker blew a brake rotor.
Yeah.
And it took him till went to commercial, came back, and then they talked about it. But it's kind of the way it always is in sports. It seems like we always get it earlier than the announcers do. But yeah, I think they did a really good job, especially being for their first year. The one thing, and we talked about this a couple weeks ago, their post race stuff. I think they have the right intentions in mind.
The order's not right.
I wish they would do it differently.
Yeah.
I wish they should forgo the front.
Forgo.
Yes.
Fargo. Fargo, the TV series.
Forgo the front stretch interview. Get rid of that. Don't talk to the.
I don't think they have really any input on that.
Don't talk to the. This is just my goals.
Yeah, I got you.
Don't talk to the driver on the front stretch after the burnout.
You all right? Hiccups kicking my ass.
Hiccups kicking my ass. Don't talk to the driver after they won the race right on the front stretch. Because, do the burnout, video the burnout, and then go to Marty and Trevor talking to first or talking to second, third, maybe fifth, fourth, maybe
Somebody that
15th if
Yeah,
they had a good
problem.
run or
Yeah.
a bad run, whatever. Speak to them, pick 3 or 4 guys out of the guys that didn't win to talk to, get their interviews. By that time, the winners come out of the car. You can, video that, video pit road, get the interview with the winner in pit road.
or in Victory Lane.
Victory Lane. Then you can go to the booth or the, trackside team, talk to Carl, get there. Hey, this is what I thought about the race. This was cool. And then once that's done, then you can have your long form interview with the winner and you're done. Because I'm going to be honest with you, I love the post-race coverage, but the past couple weeks, I hadn't watched it. Because, I'm just not going to sit around. I don't want to sit around waiting on interviews. I want to hear from the drivers right after they get out of the car. If I can hear from the drivers right after they get out of the car, then I'm going to be more likely to listen to your analysis about what they've said. And then if you feed me another interview, I'm probably going to stick around for that. And then
You
when
would
you're
like for the guys to react to what the drivers have
yes,
said.
I would rather hear the drivers, then a reaction, then a driver, then the reaction, then a driver, then a reaction, then we're done. instead of reaction, driver, done. And that's the way they've been doing it. That's my only critique of Amazon is they've got the order of their interviews wrong and when they do them. So that's it. But other than that, B+. I think they've done a great job.
Yeah, I'd go even higher. I'd give them an A. An A. The only complaint I have is the post-race stuff. A lot of what you're saying. I just want to hear from the guys that came close to winning. I don't no disrespect to Brad Keselowski. He finished ninth. Had a great car. Could have won the race. Had some shit go wrong. I don't want to hear Brad Keselowski, who finished ninth, before I hear from second place Denny Hamlin, third place Ryan Blaney, fourth place Chris Buescher,
Let me
fifth
ask you
place
this,
Chase
because
Elliott.
I didn't watch the post-race.
Yeah.
Did he have the long-form interview, or did
Yeah,
they
he got on the
just-
stage with him. He got on stage, and he talked about all his stuff and how RFK's been doing well lately and all that stuff.
Which is good.
That's fine, but
But you got to talk to the guys that finished second and
if
third
Brad
first.
Keselowski finished ninth because he ran out of gas, if he was leading the race and ran out of gas like 2 to go,
I'm okay.
That's fair, I
See,
guess.
this is where I differ from you. I'm okay with them talking to Brad in that scenario. I just wish that they would give me the interview from second, third, fourth first.
yeah, I agree. I'm just saying I'm just saying if they interview Brad for a different reason, like remember when they interviewed Byron on the Coast 600 when he was second? That
awkward.
makes sense.
It was awkward.
It was awkward too because he just lost, and I said after that race, I said, "You're not gonna get that for second place every week," and he never got it again because your second place is like, fuck, man, I really wanted to. I think they might have did it with Carson in Nashville, maybe I can't quite remember, but yeah, the post race stuff is always stuff that needs to be worked on. Just the flow of it. You get the flow fixed, and the Corey LaJoie burnout thing, I love that. It's a little cringy, but I get it. I love it. Then the cheering at the end, the cheers at the end, which Dale Earnhardt called what we've been calling about the Carl Edwards thing. He did like they showed this on Amazon Prime after the race about Dale Earnhardt. He made a video on how the Amazon post-race stuff with the beer stuff goes. He goes, Dale Jr.'s chugging it. Corey LaJoie's doing all this, cheers, and drinking it. And then Carl Edwards is sniffing it, taking a little sip, if he ever takes a sip. It's kind of funny. I like that part. It's American. It feels NASCAR, redneck, whatever you want to call it. That feels like NASCAR. I love that part. Then interview the winner eventually, getting up on the stage, which I like that as well. But there's stuff that they need to work on with the flow. But the booth itself, I love. Adam, like you said, they're great. Steve and Dale. Dale had some slip-ups. Dale was probably, I'm not going to lie, Dale was probably the worst one out of the three.
Yep.
Steve Letarte killed it. He was amazing. I've never been the biggest fan of Steve Letarte when he was with NBC. He was good, but he wasn't great. But, man, his role with Amazon was amazing. The puppet thing before the race, I didn't really like that. It kind of helps to explain it's for the fans that really don't understand how the strategy and stuff works. So I get it. But for us diehards that kind of know how the race is going to go, we kind of understand how everything's going to work. But I get why they did that, but I wasn't the biggest fan of that. But the camera angles were crisp, clean, very. It had a few missteps every race, but it wasn't nearly as bad as Fox. I don't really remember any time of them showing the grandstands of fans, fucking eating a hot dog or falling asleep or, having a kid, trying to get a damn chocolate bar from his dad while the fucking battle for third's going on. I didn't get any of that. That was good. The pit reporting was solid, not great, but man, it was so much better than Fox. I think it's going to be better than NBC. I think right now, these 5-race stretch is going to be the best NASCAR production for a race, for races that we've seen all year. I don't think NBC's going to be able to top it. And I don't think, obviously, Fox came nowhere close. I don't think TNT will be solid. I think Adam and Dale will still be calling those races, right? Will Steve?
I think it's the same booth.
Is it the same booth? Okay, well, that's fine. That's good. Just different production. So we'll see how TNT does this weekend. They did solid when they used to do NASCAR back in the day in our teenage years. But, yeah, A overall for them, man. Just got to work on some post-race stuff, clean some stuff up. First year, I'm not going to give them a whole lot of blowback, but it was so much better than Fox.
Da. Hit that button.
Attaboy. Attaboy time. I go first, you go first.
Go ahead.
I go this way, you go that way? What's that off of?
No clue.
Rush Hour.
Yep.
2. The better Rush Hour. My attaboy from the Poconos this past weekend. I'm going to give it. Make sure. I'm going to give it to Bad Brad.
Big dumb.
No, I'm just kidding. He had a good finish, but no, I'm not giving it to him. I'm going to give my attaboy to, obviously, Chase Briscoe and team. Briscoe almost got the you can't do that if he runs out of gas there at the end. Clearly, it was a driver issue, not a team or crew issue, because James Small said, hey, wait on the fuel here on this last pit stop before that caution came out for Shane. And they took the 4 tires, and Chase went. And James Small is like, what the fuck? We are fucked on fuel now. But for Chase Briscoe to get a good enough restart, to clear himself from Denny and all the rest of the guys, and to save fuel, I get the air bubble was a big deal. But for the 7 or 8 time Pocono winner, Denny Hamlin, to be breathing down your neck for most of that last 30 laps, and for you to be able to save enough fuel and win the race, not make a mistake, in a track where turn 2 is treacherous, turn 1 is treacherous, turn 3 is treacherous. Like, it's hard to not make a mistake at Pocono. Like, just drive on there on any type of racing game, and you'll make a mistake at least one time. And for Briscoe not to make a mistake there, save enough gas, win a race when he not had to win, but needed to win one to kind of get himself out of the playoff bubble line. Chase did a great job. He's a great driver, great talent. You gave him the you can't do that a couple weeks ago because of how many poles he's got and just hadn't maybe put the results together. This week he kind of got lucky with the way that caution fell with Michael McDowell pitting. Took a chance and it worked out for him. But give him credit where credit's due. He did a good job in holding off Denny and the rest of the guys that I think had a better car than him. But needed to win, got it, and he's in the playoffs now. So attaboy Chase Briscoe.
Yeah, it's a good one, obviously. I'm going to give mine to John Hunter Nemechek. John Hunter qualified 4th this weekend, finished 6th. They've been talking about for a couple weeks now that those Legacy Motor Club teams are getting better. But John Hunter is really, really doing a good job in that 42 car. Qualifying 4th is good for any team, much less Legacy Motor Club. And then, him finishing in the top 6 with 6th and pretty much running in the top 5, top 6 all day is really, really impressive for a team that, was a backmarker last year and that nobody had really any expectations coming into this season with. Outran his teammate, 43 all day in Eric Jones.
Which Eric Jones pretty good finish.
Didn't finish terribly.
13th.
He was 13th. Qualified 11th. So, Legacy Motor Club as a whole team, good job for them. But, 42 team, John Hunter Nemechek, really impressed with that because, they've had some decent qualifying runs throughout the year and they've fallen back. And they've had some bad qualifying runs and kind of lucked in some finishes here and there. But they put a full race together with both their cars today with John Hunter leading the way with a 4th qualifying position and a 6th qualifying or a 6th place finish for the 42 team. So really impressive out of them. Obviously, I don't root for them, but a really good finish for them, and I'm sure they're happy with that. So attaboy for the 42 squad, John Hunter Nemechek.
And he finished 6th last week at Mexico City, too.
He did.
So 2 straight 6th place finishes for 2 different tracks for the 42 team. Good one. Hit that button. You can't do that.
You can't do that. You can't do that.
You can't do that, Brad Keselowski. You can't do that, Jeremy Bullins. Pitting under a closed pit, sometimes you got to do it. You've been wrecked. Sometimes it's, you got to get down there, get the car fixed. You're going to be starting in the back anyway. Might as well come down during a closed pit, get a little bit extra work done. It happens. Never should you pit in a closed pit from first place. That's blasphemous.
Unless you're about to run out of gas.
It's-
You know you're running out of
It's
gas.
ridiculous. It's almost impossible. It's almost like Mark Martin pulling down pit road
Something
with,
about that 6 car.
with a lap to go.
Oh, no, that was in the 60, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was
with
60.
Dixie car.
It was a Bristol, I think.
Yeah.
But pulling down pit road with a big ass red light, obviously Brad should have seen it. He didn't. But Jeremy called him down, you know? So it's really bad. I'm not going to say it's lost him the race because they did recover. They were leading the race, with like 30 to go when the caution came out. And, had a chance if strategy played out past that. But still, I mean, pitting under a closed pit when you didn't have to is really, really, really juvenile. It's really, really, really dumb. Like, you guys are better than this. And I can't excuse it. So whoever's fault it was, whether it's Brad's, which I don't think it was, Brad took the blame for it because, it's what good leaders do. They take the blame even though it isn't their fault. This is Jeremy Bullins 100% calling him down pit
And
road.
TJ.
His fault.
Spotter should be able to see when the red light's on. Don't you think?
Yeah, but when the crew chief says pit, you pit whether or not it's closed or not. So maybe they know something you don't. And in this situation, this is on Jeremy Bullins, and that's really dumb. So you can't do that.
Yeah, that's a good one. My you can't do that's going to NASCAR officials. Shocking, I know.
It's been a while since we've done that.
That's fair. But, just the way they threw that caution with Michael McDowell, which, like I said, allowed Chase Briscoe and some other guys. I think John Hunter was one of the guys that pitted. I'm not 100% sure on that, but it could have been John Hunter there. For Briscoe, I know Josh Berry's one of them, too. He's up there. I think Austin Cindric took advantage of it as well. Pitting, when that debris was out there for McDowell, when it was 2 or 3 laps after the fact that debris was out there, I don't understand the logic of NASCAR there. If it's a caution, throw it immediately. I don't want you to wait for certain things to play out or to see what the teams do to react to the debris out there or whatever. Throw the caution when it happens if you're going to throw the caution. Waiting 4 or 5 laps to throw it, it just changed the whole complexity of this race. And I don't think that's right for NASCAR officiating to kind of dictate how the strategy and how this race ended up, because I think NASCAR officiating had more to do with the finish of this race than a lot of people want to say it did. No disrespect to Chase Briscoe and team, but if they don't pit there with that debris out there when it was still green, Chase Briscoe does not win this race. And he did. And a large reason behind that was because of NASCAR waiting 4 or 5 laps to throw that caution for that debris from Michael McDowell's blown tire. And that's just disgraceful. I'm sorry. You just can't do that. If it's a caution, throw it when it happens. Don't wait 4 or 5 laps to throw it. It's like the Chris Buescher thing when he stayed out. Remember when he stayed out really late at, when was it Michigan? No, it wasn't Michigan. It was some type of 1.5-mile, 2-mile track a couple of years ago when a tire got loose from somebody's car, somebody's team, and it was in the middle of the grass. And it was during green flag pit stops, and NASCAR did not throw the caution until Chris came down pit road like 10 laps later, and then they threw the caution after he got done pitting. Like, if it's a caution now, if it's a caution in 5 laps, it should be a caution now. If it's the same reason for the caution. And when they threw the caution, I said, it better not be for that damn debris. And it was. And that's not right. It affected how this race ended. It affected how everything ended. And I don't like that. I don't know how you feel about it, but I hated it. I don't care if it was Chase Elliott who took advantage of it and pitted, or Chris Buescher, or Ryan Blaney. So any of my guys that come down pit road get the track position advantage because they used it, but they throw the caution 5 laps after they pitted or 5 laps after the incident. Like, that's not right. And I hate the NASCAR officiating got in the way of another race that was very strategic. I mean, you had fuel, tire strategy all day And for you to kind of determine when the caution happened, when it was, you could have thrown it 5 laps earlier before anybody could have got down pit road, is a disgrace. So I hate that. I hate how it affected the end of the race. So please, NASCAR, do better. I know you won't, but yeah, NASCAR officiating, you can't do that. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, obviously I agree. I mean, NASCAR, it's kind of hit or miss on their cautions. They've been better recently, but I don't think, like you said, if it didn't deserve a caution when it first happened, it doesn't deserve a caution. So just kind of the way it is on that one.
All right. Well, we got Echo Park Race or Speedway. Where's that at?
Hi, Atlanta.
Hot Atlanta. It's going to be hot, too. Good thing it's a Saturday night race.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Christopher Bell won the race in the spring here. What are you expecting there, Riley?
Well, I say it every time we go back here. The more we go back here, the more it's going to be spread out. And I think it's going to be even more spread out than last time and more than the time before that. The time before that, it's going to be real, real hot. And I still think drafting will be important. Obviously, it's going to be more of a drafting style race than anything. But I do think handling is going to matter. I think having a car that's planted and handles well throughout the corners is going to help you, especially early in the race, but throughout the race. So, whatever team can trim out the most but still have a good handling race car is probably going to be your better pick. And I think that you're still going to have your super speedway regulars are going to be the ones that you're going to be looking for. But it would not surprise me if a guy like Carson Hocevar or maybe one of the legacy cars or even RFK, some of these guys that have shown speed at these 1.5 mile, 2 mile tracks the past couple weeks show up and do good work, because the speed on the 1.5 mile, 2 mile stuff might translate, even though it is still a 2 mile track or a drafting track. Excuse me. So we'll see what happens. I still think it's going to be it's going to come down to where the push comes from and how the lanes are moving at the end, but definitely at the beginning of the race when it's hot, slick, the sun's still out. I think it's going to be really treacherous for those guys, and it's going to come down to handling.
Yeah, I agree with you for the most part. Although it's going to be at night, rain permitting, which there's a lot of rain around here in the southeast this weekend, so we'll hopefully can get this race on Saturday night. We don't have a whole lot of. I think isn't this the first Saturday night race of the year? Yeah. I know we got Richmond here in a couple weeks, and we got Daytona at the end of the regular season. But I think those are the only 3 Saturday night races. So I hope we can get this race in Saturday night. Saturday night racing, ratings-wise, won't do the best, but I think it always puts on, at least it looks pretty good. I think the heat aspect will kind of calm down because it's at night. I think the cars will handle better than they would if it was on a Sunday day race in the middle of the summer at Atlanta. I think the cars will be a little more trimmed out, a little bit more comfortable for the drivers, but it's still treacherous. I mean, you got one guy that makes a mistake and you got a 10, 15 car pile up because there's nowhere to go at Atlanta. It's so small, it's so compact. And a lot of these guys, a lot of these teams know how to trim these cars out for Atlanta now. And, it's called bot surviving, putting yourself in the right position at the end of the race, not speeding down pit road, which is pit road here is a lot different than every other track we come to. You come down before you get in turn 3 is when the entrance to pit road starts. So it's a long pit road. You get caught for speeding, you're screwed. Unless it's earlier in the race where you can try to make a recovery. But, it's I think you'll have some single file racing, but you'll have a lot of 2x2 racing. And if it gets down towards the end, you might have 3x3 racing for a short stretch before they wreck. Because I don't think you can go 3x3 here for too long. So it should be interesting to see. I look at Fords here, and I look at Chevys. I know a Toyota won here in the spring, but it's kind of off of some luck. I'm going to give Christopher Bell credit here in the spring, but he kind of just avoided the chaos and was able to find himself at the right place at the right time at the end of the race. But Fords will dominate. I think Penske's going to be strong. I think RFK will be strong. I think front row will be strong. And I think, Ross was really strong here in the spring. Carson was pretty good here in the spring. So you got some of those Chevy guys that'll be strong as well. So it'll be interesting to see how all this plays out. It's a must-win race for a lot of these guys that don't have really a good chance to win other than here or Daytona at the end of the regular season. So I think you're going to see a lot of guys and teams go for it. If it's come down to fuel mileage or strategy, you're going to have a lot of guys that kind of just go for broke because they got to win a race. And this is one of their best chances before the regular season happens. So I think you can have a chaotic race, a crazy race at night. And if weather's in the area coming to an end, we saw it 2 years ago when we were there in Atlanta. The racing, when they were coming close to that rain, it got insane. The best racing I've ever seen at any track I've ever been to when the rain was coming. So I think these guys are going to be, all over the track and all over each other to try to get track position and try to hold on for the win.
Well, with that being said, you took the dub with Dennis finishing second.
Yep, almost had 2-pointers back to back.
Yeah.
I'm on a roll.
You're up one now.
I am 10-9, my first lead of the year, baby.
Who you got?
I'm dying on this hill.
Zane Smith.
Zane Smith, baby. I'm picking Zane Smith this weekend, which is kind of weird.
Makes my pick a lot easier.
But it's a drafting style track. I'm not picking a big hitter, even though probably a big hitter will probably wind up winning this race. But Zane Smith front row has been really strong here. Hadn't been able to get the wins with, think of Michael McDowell. Todd Gillen's been strong here in the past. But I trust Zane Smith. He's had some rough goes at it this year. Got the pole at Talladega in the spring, so that the speed's in that 38 car. Just got to put a full race together. And got to put himself in the front. I don't know if he'll win the race, but I think he'll be hopefully up for contention at the end if he can stay out of trouble. He's got a fast car, and he's the best front row driver by far. And if his teammates are near him, if Todd Gillen or Noah Gregson's up there near him towards the end, I think they can help him push his way to a victory. So give me Zane Smith. I picked him to make the playoffs this year. I feel like he's run top 12, top 15 a lot this year. Not had race winning speed at a lot of other tracks, but he's been solid. But this is one of the tracks where I think he can get a win, and I think he pulls it off this weekend. We've had 4 straight winners I think in the Cup Series on the new, right? 4 straight winners. You had Chase, you had Shane, who won 3 weeks ago. You had Denny, to take Denny out, and then somebody else won. You had Ross at Charlotte. You had What was the second? No, Blaney. I know, but he won first race of the year. So had 4 different winners the past 5 races. I think that continues in Zane Smith this weekend.
Yeah, that's a dumb pick, so I appreciate that.
Easy for you to say. I'm up a point. I ain't lost since fucking Charlotte, bitch.
With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and pick a guy that's going to outrun Zane. Probably not going to win the race, but I think he's going to outrun Zane. Give me Ryan Preece.
That's my second pick. That's who I almost picked.
Yeah, give me Ryan Preece. I think with his speed on 1.5 mile stuff and 2 mile stuff this year, coupled with the fact he finished second at Talladega, RFK Fords.
Well, not by the stats.
Yeah,
but by the finish.
He finished second at Talladega. He has shown the speed at every applicable racetrack that you can look back on. To look forward to this race. As far as speed and finishing goes. And then you've also got the fact that the RFK Fords have been really fast here since they've reconfigured. So I think Ryan Preece is going to have a good day. May not win the race, but definitely going to outrun Zane Smith. So really not worried about this one. Going to give me a point. We'll be going into the Chicago Street Course tied up at the very least.
So you want to know the only reason why I didn't pick Ryan Preece?
Because you're dumb?
Because I picked William Byron in my bracket over him this weekend.
Yeah, because you're dumb.
If I'd have picked Preece, I definitely would have picked Preece.
But you're dumb.
But Preece was my second pick. So great minds think alike. Where was Zane on your board? Not even on the board.
30th, probably, somewhere in there.
Okay, we'll see though. I'm on a roll. But we got a triple header this weekend. So we got the Xfinity race Friday night at Atlanta. We got the Truck Series Saturday at 1. So we get a doubleheader on Saturday, and it's with the Cup Series. That's few and far between. We never really ever get that. So we get Truck Series at Lime Rock. They'll be racing there for the first time. We'll be interested to see how that race goes. Sure, Corey Heim's going to be fast and probably deserves to win the race, but probably something's gonna happen to him. And then the Cup Series race will be at 7 or 7:30 on TNT and HBO Max. So off Amazon, off the streaming. So all you bitches that complain about streaming, I can't watch a race. NASCAR's communist for putting it on stream. This is bullshit. I'll never watch NASCAR again. You got it back on cable this week on TNT, so you can quit your bitching on that. But yeah, I'll be off this weekend, so I'll get to enjoy watching the racing. Hopefully the rain stays away, and hopefully have some good racing at Hot Atlanta and Lime Rock this weekend.
Yes, sir. Well, with that being said, obviously, follow us on all of our socials.
Oh, you're not gonna talk about what you got going on this weekend?
I'm off. I'm going to watch the race.
Cool.
Yeah, so follow us on all our socials, obviously. Look forward to Atlanta. Podcast next week. We'll talk about the race. Look forward to Chicago Street Course. But follow us on all of our socials, as I said, at YouTube on
The Highline Podcast,
Instagram,
The Highline Official,
Facebook,
The Highline Podcast,
TikTok.
The Highline Podcast.
And then
We are 15 followers away from 900.
900.
900 babies.
Get us there. Obviously, that'd be good to see. Another
Get close-
milestone.
The road to 1,000, baby.
Knock us down to 1,000. That'd be good. Follow us, obviously, on Apple Podcast and Spotify Podcast to listen to the full episode of the podcast. That'd
At
be
the
great.
Highline.
At the Highline. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your enemies.
Hit the notification bell.
Hit the notification bell. Ding, ding. And go Cox.
Go Tigers.